Nvidia just grabbed a 4% stake in Intel, potentially a $1 billion headache for AMD. Apple's rumored MacBook for the economically unfortunate might finally get an upgrade. And for Cyberpunk 2077 fans, we've got a juicy hint about the sequel you didn't see coming. Let's get into the best tech, Apple, and gaming news. Nvidia and Intel's $5 billion partnership won't just change the industry, it severely threatens AMD's mental health. It's just witnessed its enemy become friends. Nvidia is taking a 4% stake in Intel for $5 billion, fresh off a 10% US government buy-in. How a failing company is currently the hottest stock on Wall Street is shocking. Even more is the US government's massive discount. But hey, that's the art of the deal. But Nvidia will not use Intel's foundries to manufacture its own chip, so TSMC can rest easy. After the news, Intel's shares surged 23%, while Nvidia's rose 3.8%. AMD and Broadcom saw dips like your Wi-Fi on Zoom meetings. Why wouldn't they dip? Intel and Nvidia plan to co-build CPUs and GPUs with custom interconnects, basically having an advantage in the PC market. To add fuel to the flames, Nvidia is even handing over GPU chiplets, so Intel can slap them next to x86 CPUs, way better than Intel's sad ARC graphics. And no, Intel not dropping its own GPUs, at least they'll go hobbies. But do you think this is the beginning of Intel's big comeback or something that AMD can actually stand up to? And that's not all. I know you're itching to find out what the cheaper MacBook might be missing, and which juicy details about Cyberpunk's sequel should actually get you excited. But first, Elon Musk might not be a trillionaire after this. Tesla just lost another Optimus robot leader, Ashish Kumar, who ran the AI team, quit right after Milan Kovac, the head of the entire program, walked out earlier. Why is this a problem? Well, Musk has claimed that 80% of Tesla's future earnings will come from Optimus. So losing talent feels less like the robot revolution and more like revolutionaries bailing out on day one. Kumar's moving to Meta AI team and insists it wasn't about the money. Shareholders, meanwhile, were split. Some are calling him a traitor to the $1 trillion dream, others are just realizing, wait, how's this a revolution? So, will Tesla bounce back and build his robot army, or will it be a rough ride on its way to its robot revolution? While Tesla's future is looking blurry, Google is making some bold moves. First, it's dropping Gemini AI straight into Chrome on Mac and Windows in the US for free, which is great, until you realize that you're one of the people actually paying for it right now. And second, Google is teaming up with the UK non-profit to fight Revenge Porn. The group uses hashing, basically digital fingerprints of private images, to flag and remove them across platforms. Now, Google proactively scrub these from your search results without waiting for you to do it manually in your settings. But there's a twist. Google's late to the party. Other tech giants were already using the system while Google was still fighting a breakup. But as Google is giving free AI, China, land of the cheap, has officially closed its investigation accusing Android of bullying other Androids. But don't mistake this for kindness, it's a strategic move. The art of war. See, China doesn't like Nvidia or their GPUs at the moment and accused the company of antitrust violations over its Mellanox deal. If guilty, Nvidia could face fines of up to 10% of this 2024 sales. But let's be real, is China going to lose? Meanwhile, in a rare flex, DeepSeek claims the R1 model costs less than 300,000 grand to train. Which sounds impressive until you remember OpenAI dropped 100 million on ChatGPT. But analysts aren't buying it. You see, some say the real tab is closer to 3 billion, factoring servers, operations, and GPUs. And the supposed figure wasn't just a selective accounting trick. Critics also argue that DeepSeek leaned heavily on distillation, basically copying other AIs. But regardless of the China's accounting, do you really believe DeepSeek spent this little amount of money? Speaking of money, let's get into the Apple news. Apple's rumored budget MacBook SE, or as I like to call it, a budget MacBook for the economically unfortunate, might be getting an upgrade. Previously, analyst Ming-Chin Kuo hinted it would come with an A18 Pro chip, basically an M1 with 8GB of RAM. But update the rumors, a credible Weibo leaker now says Apple could go for the A19 Pro chip with 12GB of RAM, which to Apple is like 30GB of RAM on PC. Other specs, it's limited to USB-C. Only one native external display and a 13-inch screen. Expected launch either October 2025 or March 2026. So mark your calendar and patience. But as Apple folds MacBook prices, its upcoming fold might signal a major shift away from China. The company is reportedly talking to suppliers to build a pilot production line in northern Taiwan, testing and refining manufacturing processes before going mass market, with a long-term plan to replicate the line in India. Clearly, Apple doesn't want to put all its eggs in China anymore. But here's the catch. Taiwan has limited land and labor, even for a pilot line needing about 1,000 operators. So, as Apple diversifies its manufacturing processes across Asia, do you think its upcoming fold will actually beat Samsung's? Finally, into the gaming news. A job listing just dropped a major hint about Cyberpunk 2077 sequel. CD Projekt Red is hiring a lead network engineer for Project Orion, the rumored sequel to the game. The role focuses on designing scalable online systems and multiplayer features like matchmaking and latency optimization. Translation: it sounds more like we're adding multiplayer functionality to the game. Fans speculate it could be more like GTA Online, but the creator Mike Pondsmith says the game could add another city, which is similar to Chicago but gone wrong. The catch: Project Orion is still years away, probably 4 to 5 years. So, as you exercise your patience, Valve's patience has finally run out of steam. Your Windows 10 PC might finally be running out of steam. Literally. Valve just announced that starting January 3rd, 2026, Steam will stop supporting 32-bit versions of Windows 10. That means no more updates and technical support. But I have good news. Don't worry too much if you're one of the affected. You only make up 0.0% of all Steam users, so the rest of us will be fine. That's it for today's tech news. Kindly leave your thoughts about what you'd love to see me incorporate in the next videos. But thanks for watching. I love you and I'll see you in the next one.